let me just set the scene for you this evening. It's summer in Portugal. What locals do that tourists don't. Imagine this scene. You've driven hours to a beach that's said to be one of the best in Portugal, only to arrive and find no parking, freezing water, or windy conditions that make your long-awaited day feel like a letdown. Locals know how to plan around these things. And in this friendly, practical session, Filomena will show you how to do the same while building your Portuguese language skills along the way. So vocabulary tonight. And yes, those three C's, the comfort, the confidence and cultural understanding today, as we learn, get the inside information that the Portuguese know that we don't. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you back to the Expats Portugal webinar screen, Filomena. Tudo bem?
Olá, tudo bem? Boa tarde a todos.
There you go. You may reply in the comments, or diga, as we say in Portugal. Diga em comments, maybe. That'll be
Comentários.
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 Diga em comentários. So, Filomena, I think you've got the co-anfilitar privileges. Shall I stop now?
Anfitrião.
What did I say? What did I say?
That's exactly what you said, but I'm just repeating. Co-anfitrião.
Right.
In this case, anfitriã, because I'm a woman.
Of course.
So, of course, a computer doesn't know, but...
No, the co-hostess. The co-hostess. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, verão em Portugal. Summer in Portugal. So, as you said, what locals do that tourists don't. Well, of course, there are things that locals do and tourists also do. So I'm going to start with what is the most common that both locals and tourists do, and then I'll finish with probably the least common from the tourists, or even not just tourists, but even foreigners who live in Portugal, and sometimes they don't, they are not aware of what's going on or what they can see, or so I'll start with, of course, if it's summer, where does everyone want to go? Is to the beach, right? So the beach, of course, by the Atlantic Ocean, that's the only sea that we have. But we also have lots of rivers and some dams as well, beautiful dams. Some are very, very beautiful. So you can go to the beach. Or, of course, lots of Portuguese also like to go to the swimming pools, local swimming pools. There are lots of swimming pools and water parks, especially in the Algarve, but there are other places in Portugal with water parks. Then the Portuguese also love food and drink. So, of course, we like to do picnics and to have picnics and barbecue areas. So we usually go to the barbecue areas, and they are also spread all over the country and on the islands too. Then festivals. We are going to speak about several festivals that you can attend, and usually locals are more aware of them, but if you know what is going on, because every year they happen more or less at the same time, at the same date, on the same date. So you already expect that more or less in that month or so the festival is going to happen, and so you can start looking for it online and check when exactly they are going to happen. And finally, as I said, the local festas. So the festa in the little villages or the towns. So we always have some festa that you can go to. And so this is basically what the Portuguese do. And so I'm going to start with, of course, the beach. Okay. So some vocabulary to start with. Praia, So let's repeat, praia, praia. So, but as I said, it's not just the beach by the sea, but also the river beach. So, praia fluvial. So you have this picture, for example, is from Fraga São Simão. So it's in central Portugal. And as you can see, it's a beautiful landscape. And so it's a very, very quiet, peaceful. You can have a very peaceful morning or afternoon or the whole day. And it's very, very pleasant to go. Of course, the water is cold, but I mean, if it's very hot, this is what you want, cold water to cool you down. So a praia fluvial, praia fluvial, fluvial. Then, as I said, we also have some dams. It's called barragem. And then I know that you are going to say, oh, those R's. Yes, but barragem. If you are like the Lisbon accent is the R with their throat, so barragem. But here we say in Coimbra we say barragem. This barragem, this picture is from Pampilhosa da Serra, barragem de Santa Luzia, which is near Pampilhosa da Serra. It belongs to the municipality of Pampilhosa da Serra. And as you can see, I just had this picture for you to see that even in the dam, you can have a swimming pool, a floating swimming pool that has also a bottom. And so it's safe for you to swim, and it's not, as dangerous as it could be in the rest of the dam. But of course, you can also use the rest of the dam to swim and also to do, for example, to kayak and other sports. Then let's see some other vocabulary about the beach and praia vigiada. If you go to a beach, either a river beach or a seaside beach, you usually find this kind of sign. So praia vigiada, if they have a lifeguard, they have this sign, and it's always important for you to choose a lifeguard patrolled beach, because you know that especially the Atlantic Ocean, it can be very, very dangerous. And if you don't know the area, it's sometimes very, very dangerous. And so I advise you to always choose a surveyed beach, praia vigiada. Of course, there are some that are not surveyed, and so it says praia não vigiada, not surveilled. So praia não vigiada with no lifeguard. Then I just wanted to highlight that we always, or we should look for the blue flag, the bandeira azul, blue flag. That means that is a good quality beach that also follows lots of rules in not just the water, but the facilities around it. And so lots of items that have to be good for the beach to have this blue flag. And in Portugal, we have over 400 beaches, both at the seaside and river beaches, that have this bandeira azul. So it's always important for you to see. If you see this flag, it means it's completely safe, and it's a good beach. Now let's read some more Portuguese, okay? And so bandeiras are the flags that you can find on the beach. So verde, and I have it in order. So verde is the green flag, right? And so verde is oh, I'm trying to, okay, I hope I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Pode entrar na água. I was just trying to take this. Okay. Pode entrar na água e nadar com segurança. So, what do you think this means? The green flag.
Right, I'm
think it
taking a look at
means-
the comments here.
I think enter at your own risk.
Sorry?
That was at your own risk from Debbie there.
Well,
Sorry, what about you?
yes,
I think
yes, you are
green.
at your own risk, but it's safe, and you can go into the water. You can swim because it's safe to swim. The sea is calm, and so it's perfectly good for you to swim. So this is the verde, the green flag that we all hope to see when we go to the beach. Then we also have amarela. Amarela, so the next flag, yellow. Amarela. Condições ligeiramente agitadas. Atenção e cuidado ao entrar na água. Não ultrapassar a zona da cintura. So, very good, Pedro. Very good.
Proceed
So-
with caution.
So, yes, you have to be cautious because condições ligeiramente agitadas, that means that the sea is not quite flat, sometimes it has some waves, and so you have to be careful when you enter the water. You can't swim, but you shouldn't go over your waist in the water, right? So you can just be in the water, but not swim because sometimes the waves are dangerous, and so you can just, cool down a little bit. Then vermelha, red. Or as in Lisbon, they say vermelha. Okay, but I don't have the Lisbon accent, so vermelha.
What is wrong with them?
Vermelha. So, vermelha, red, mar perigoso, entrada proibida na água. So, this is very easy to understand, right? So, dangerous sea, and it's prohibited, it's forbidden to enter the water. So, you can't even go and to the water. It's very, very dangerous, and you shouldn't enter the water. Then, as I said, we have the blue flag, azul, blue, prémio anual dado a praias que seguem certos padrões de qualidade, serviços, etc. So, as I said before, this is an award given annually. So, every year they make sure that the conditions are the same or better to keep the flag or not. So this is given to beaches that follow certain patterns of quality, services, etc. So there is a number of conditions that you have to follow to get this blue flag. Azul, bandeira azul. Preta, although I've never seen one, but preta means praia fechada, closed beach, so closed for some serious problem. Preta e branca, so the one that is black and white. Preta e branca, zona de surf onde a natação não é permitida. So if you, of course, not every beach is appropriate for surfing, but if it is, they also have this flag to tell you that that is an area for surfing and you shouldn't swim there, as obviously it can be dangerous too. So swimming is not permitted in this area because it's an area for surfing. Vermelha e amarela, so red and yellow, vermelha e amarela, delimita a área recomendada para entrar na água. As I said, Portugal has beautiful beaches, but the Atlantic Ocean can be very, very dangerous. And sometimes you have areas on the beach that are not safe because the tide, the wave, they cross, one wave crosses the other and things like that. So if you have an area with this red and yellow flag, this means this is the safe area for you to enter. So if you see the red and yellow flag, that means it's the area to enter the water. So especially on beaches that can be dangerous in other parts, in other areas, they have this area where you can enter the water marked with this red and yellow flag. Then xadrez, the checked one, xadrez. Xadrez is also chess, the game. Okay, xadrez. Praia temporariamente sem vigilância. So temporarily, the beach is not surveyed. So because the lifeguard had to go somewhere. And so if the lifeguard is not there at the moment, he puts up this checked flag. So if you see that flag, it means that at the moment, the lifeguard is not there, but just for a few minutes.
Lunchtime. Is it not lunchtime?
It can be at lunchtime, can be.
Okay.
Then branca com símbolo de medusa ou bandeira roxa. So the last ones that you can see, the white with this symbol of medusa. I don't know that in English, but you know those things that are in the sea that can be bad for your skin, right? If you touch them, they can make you some allergy. And so this is usada para alertar quando há medusas. In Portuguese, we call them medusas or águas vivas or alforrecas, or outra vida marinha perigosa. So if there is any danger in the water in terms of maritime life, so some animals also that can cause an allergy, this is the flag, either the white with the symbol of the medusa or alforreca, or if it's a purple flag, roxa. Okay, so branca or roxa, white or purple.
Funny,
And of course, this is
Filomena, we call them a Portuguese man of war.
Okay.
For some reason. Yes, better, that's right.
Okay. So, and of course, frequently it is used with the yellow or the red, of course, right? Frequentemente usada com a bandeira amarela ou a bandeira vermelha. So this is everything in Portuguese. Again, the colors are verde, amarela, and by the way, when I say amarela, it's the feminine, because bandeira, the flag, is also a feminine word. So that's why I'm saying the colors in the feminine form, okay? So verde, amarela, vermelha, azul, preta, preta e branca, vermelha e amarela, xadrez e branca com um símbolo de medusa ou bandeira roxa. Okay? So, then a little bit more of language, and so some vocabulary that you might know, but you can also learn. So, vento, wind, vento, sol, ondas grandes, especially if you go to Nazaré, big waves. So ondas are waves, grandes, big. Maré, the tide. So you can have maré alta or maré baixa. Praia, acessível. So we also have lots of beaches at the seaside and river beaches with these devices, as I have in the picture here. to allow people that are usually on a wheelchair to go to the sea as well, or to the water, to the river. So those are accessible beaches that have also these equipments, and you can also see some signs saying praia acessível. Then guarda-sol or chapéu de sol, so the umbrella that we take for to the beach. So guarda-sol ou chapéu de sol. And then a long word, espreguiçadeira. Espreguiçadeira. Because it comes from the word preguiça. Preguiça is laziness. Okay, so it's when you are really lazy and so you want to lay down, and so it's espreguiçadeira. Barracas de praia are the beach tents, and of course in Portugal we have these typical ones that I have here on the picture. The barracas de praia, we call them. And you can hire them for a day or for a week. Or, there are several prices that you can pay, and you can hire a tent for a few days. And it's always a good idea, especially if it's very windy, because sometimes it's very, very windy. And if you have a tent like this, it's quite comfortable. And also because of the shade, of course. Cadeira de praia, so any beach chair, cadeira de praia. Toalha de praia. Protetor solar, very important to put some sun cream. Protetor solar. And of course, Bola de Berlim. You don't have a Portuguese beach without a Bola de Berlim, right? I mean, Bola de Berlim is a must. And so there are other things that are sold on the beach, usually ice creams, for example, but the Bola de Berlim, I think, is the queen, right?
I've got a theory. Filomena. The
Okay.
reason these are so popular is because you can't tell if it's sugar or sand. Right?
Yeah, you are right.
You
You
know,
are
a
right.
big bite.
Sometimes it's a
Yeah.
mixture of sand and
Yes,
sugar, and you
exactly.
just eat everything.
Which is different if you're eating your ham sandwich or your toastimista, your sandwich.
Yeah. You
You can
can
tell sand.
identify.
Yeah.
You can identify the sand, yes, on another sandwich, but not in this one.
No way.
Yeah, very good. So, vocabulary: vento, sol, ondas grandes, maré, maré alta, maré baixa, praia acessível, guarda-sol, chapéu de sol, espreguiçadeira, barracas de praia, cadeira de praia, toalha de praia, protetor solar e bola de Berlim. Okay, so some advices. Of course, that in summer hotspots, parking can be very limited, and what you should do, arrive early, right? River beaches are a great alternative to crowded coastlines. So there are very beautiful river beaches, and you have fresh water, so you can swim in the fresh water. You have natural shade with the trees. There is less wind, and often they are also lifeguarded. So it's a very, very good option for you. The weekends, of course, can be chaotic in popular spots. And so either you go early, or, especially if you are retired, you can choose any other day of the week, right? So Monday to Friday is, especially Monday to Thursday, I would say, is the best time to go. Consider less obvious spots locals favor to avoid traffic and crowds. So if you live in Portugal, you can always talk to your neighbors, to your friends, Portuguese friends, and to find out where they go, because they always know some hidden places that they are not usually advertised, and so you just have to speak to local people and try to find out. The sea temperature, of course, is a bit different. In the Algarve, it's usually warmer and the sea is gentler. But in the north or central Portugal, of course, the water can be a bit freezing, and there is more wind, and so there are some beaches that are quite windy, aren't there, Carl?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Um, then some Portuguese use IPMA, so IPMA, for the Instituto Português do Mar e da Atmosfera, .pt, to check sea temperature, the wind, the UV index, flags, and some surf reports. If you are a surf fan, Portugal is famous for surfing, but of course, not every beach is safe for it. Um, Especially famous, you have Ericeira, Peniche, Nazaré, Arrifana, Praia da Arrifana. You can always check on www.surfline.com if the conditions are good for surfing or not. And you can check which is the best place to go at that time. About pets. So not all beaches allow dogs. You have to look for the sign that says that the dogs are allowed or not, or eventually check online, or again ask the locals to see if they know if the dogs are allowed or not. But many locals bring dogs to early morning or off the beaten track spots. So try to do the same. If you want to take your dog to the beach, you can take the dog early morning, for example, or later in the evening. Of course, always clean up and keep dogs under control. That's a must. And the river beaches are usually more pet friendly, right? So because it's it's not so crowded, and so you have the shade under the tree and everything. It's a quieter environment, and so it's usually more dog friendly or pet friendly. Then we go to the swimming pools and water parks, and so of course, the Portuguese always also love to go to the swimming pools, especially if you don't live by the seaside. So if you don't live by the seaside, you have to have other alternatives. So of course, the river beaches they are a very good alternative, but there are also local swimming pools, public swimming pools, usually from the town hall or the city hall, that you can go to. And so this is what the Portuguese also do in the summer. So vocabulary, piscina. So for example, as I said, piscinas municipais, so the town hall or city hall swimming pool. Parque aquático are the water parks, so parque aquático, and you have lots of parks aquatic water parks, as I said, especially in the Algarve, but not just in the Algarve. You also have them throughout the country. Then you have to buy a ticket, so bilhete. Bilheteira is the ticket office. Bilheteira. Escorrega, the slide. Escorrega. Escadas, degraus, relva, sombra, entrada, saída, balneários, casa de banho, chuveiro, and the one you can see in the picture, nadador Salvador, the lifeguard nadador Salvador. So lots of swimming pool, well, every swimming pool, they have nadador Salvador, a lifeguard, and also, of course, in the water parks. So this is a bit of vocabulary that I thought you might want to know. Okay. Then speaking about picnics, we also have lots of picnic areas. Some are by the river beaches, but also in the forest, and there are lots of picnic areas. So the vocabulary for this one here is picnic, churrasco, churrasqueira, carvão, because when you have a picnic, the Portuguese having a picnic is not just taking a sandwich and sitting down, right? No, it's not that kind of picnic. You take everything with you, right? You take the whole house with you. So you take the coal, you take everything.
Tablecloth.
So
Got to be a
mesas,
tablecloth.
mesas. Yes, the tablecloth as well. And so mesas, usually in this area, you have tables, but sometimes if they are all taken, if you have a spare table in your car, it's always a good idea. Bancos, geleira, because of course you have to have cool drinks. So you take your geleira. Cadeiras dobráveis, if you want to sit down for a bit in a comfortable, relaxing mode. Cadeiras dobráveis. And of course, what do we take to grill? Usually meat, right? So carne. Some fish sometimes, peixe. Then, of course, we also grill some vegetables, but the most common is the meat. Bebidas, drinks, acompanhamento, the side dish, and sometimes people take rice and things like that for a side dish, but you also take crisps, batatas fritas de pacote. We call them batatas fritas de pacote. And as you said, toalha de mesa, right?
Oh, yeah.
Toalha de mesa. Okay. Then you have to be aware of the wildfire. So of course, at the moment, unfortunately, we are going through a period of fires in Portugal again, and so you have to be aware if it's possible or not to go to that area to do a barbecue, for example, because if there is a danger of fire, they will forbid the fire even in a barbecue grill. So especially important inland during hot, dry summer days like we are doing now, are having now. You can always check fogos.pt or proteçãocivil.gov.pt for real-time fire maps and alerts. Sometimes they close, for example, this week, Sintra has been closed, the mountain of Sintra has been closed, and so people couldn't visit the Palácio da Pena, for example, or other things because of the risk of fire. So sometimes they close the roads or the areas and you can't go. Of course, don't light fires or barbecues outside designated areas. It's too dangerous because everything is very dry, and so it can be very, very dangerous. Even river beaches and rural areas, rural picnic spots can be affected, of course, by the big fires. Okay. So then, speaking about the local festas, the ones that I said probably they are the ones that the tourists definitely don't know about, and the Portuguese loved going to the local festas. Almost every village or town has got its own festa, usually from Friday to Tuesday. Usually from Friday to Tuesday. There are usually bailes, dancing balls, and DJs, and this means that the shows usually start after 10 p.m. and go on until 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. Right? So if you are brave enough to be up until 5, you can dance until 5. Then you usually have a bar, of course, where some food and drinks are served, and you sometimes have a kermesse. This is also a Portuguese tradition, let's say, a stall with raffle tickets that you buy, and then you see if you get a number on the ticket, and that number corresponds to a little prize that you can win. And so this is called kermesse. This is usually to help with the expenses for the festa. So the locals just donate. Sometimes they donate things that they don't want anymore, but they donate them something for the kermesse, and then it's just a fun activity, you know, to unroll the little tickets and see if you get a number. And several generations attend these festas, and you can see children dancing and partying until very late at night. So it's not like in other countries that the children stay at home with a babysitter, but not in Portugal. Usually the children and the grandmothers and grandfathers and the parents and the children and, you know, everyone, the whole family, the cousins and aunts and uncles and everyone takes part. They all take part in the festa, and so they stay up until very, very late. And the traditional finishing activity is the bacalhoada. Of course, bacalhau, as you know, is also a very big, you know, dish in Portugal. So it's a very famous dish. And usually on Tuesday or on Monday, depends, sometimes Monday or sometimes Tuesday, the committee that organizes the festa, they prepare some grilled cod, and then everyone goes and has some grilled cod and of course some drinks. And so this is the final activity usually in the local festas, the bacalhoada. And of course you always have lots of music during the day, sometimes the bagpipers, drums, you know, lots and lots of things going on with lots of noise. Of course, sometimes you also have firework, but that is something that could be improved. But of course, now because of the fire risk, also the fireworks are also forbidden sometimes because of fire risk. But this is what happens in the local festas.
What I'll do is I'll pause the recording there for YouTube, and we'll hang out with the Expats Portugal Premium members and see what they have to say and share and ask of you. So thanks again. Muito obrigado. Excelente this evening. Superb stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks
Obrigada.
on behalf of everybody here tonight.